This is my new random seed glitchless Pogworld sub 10 personal best. And let's just say the blind time of this is like pretty insane. And overall, this runs really fast. And I don't know how it exactly ranks on the Pogworld leaderboard, but it is probably like top 10 for Pogworld RSG, which is really good. And I'm pretty happy with this time, although I know I certainly can do quite a bit faster. And for those of you that don't know what Pogworld is, it is like, and I'm sure you've heard of pogloot. It's kind of like pogloot, but instead of the loot being pog, the world is pog. So you see here, I've got like a ton of blacksmiths off the bat, and basically like the overworld, there's rune portals everywhere, villages everywhere, blacksmith increased, and then like the nether, there's a bunch of bastions and fortresses all massively increased, and then there's also more strongholds. I think it's like 2.5 times many strongholds, and the eyes in the portal room are massively increased, which you'll see is actually like really nice, particularly for grabbing blaze rods. You'll see here, now the meta is to go for like sub 2, maybe even like sub 130 enters, and the best way to do that is just loot a lot of blacksmiths and hope you get enough obsidian to complete a rune portal nearby. And that's what I get here. I get 7. I mean, it's not the most blacksmith, but I see I've got this rune portal over here. I think it's like 4 to complete this rune portal. So this is going to be a pretty solid enter. And the end time ends up being like 1 minute 45 seconds, which is suddenly, it's world record pace. So that's cool. I'd say like sub 150 is probably world record pace. I mean, technically like sub 2 is quite easy, well, record pace, but you want to go for fast enters to get like more efficiency. No, our record's super tight, but super beatable. It's like a 7-minute run by, I think, Kind Plays, so it's pretty cool. The previous time I did this run, the world record was 7:36. So I am trying to break the world record live, so follow my Twitch for that. You'll see instantly off the bat, I get a treasure bastion, and oh my god, I'm going to be routing treasure. The funniest part of this run. Treasure bastion is not awful. Like you see, I've got another videos about bastions where I conclude that treasure is awful, horrific, and horrifically awful. But this run is with treasure, which is quite funny. And I'm blinding like 5 minutes, so these splits are really fast. I didn't grab the gold on the bridge. I'm not quite sure why. I think I might have thought I had it. Maybe this part's a bit difficult. I probably should have done, but what you'll know is I don't really necessarily need it because one cool thing about this mod is all the treasure bastions. Also, I see the soul sand, so I place blocks instead because I think it slows down piglins. That all the blocks up here are gold blocks, which means there's a lot less RNG in the treasure bastion. So I mean, treasure's not that bad, but I still have to wait for ages on obby, I think, because I don't get obby in any of the chests. Like just classic treasure stuff. We love to see it. And I also think Piglin's a bit weird in this route, but it's all good. Also, I want to shout out Wergo because he allowed me to use. He's the developer of the mod. Allowed me to use this, and this version's not quite publicly released yet. It probably will be within a few days. I'm not quite sure when, but this is a test version, and it just has a couple of cool features. I mean, it's not much different, but the stronghold's better. It's particularly better for like calculated travel, and the overworld's a bit more consistent, particularly with oceans. Although the meta is not to play for oceans because there's also a lot more shipwrecks. The meta for Pogworld is typically to reset for blacksmiths. Although with this update, oceans are not that bad, particularly if you get like a good rune portal. And then you'll see here, I collect my trace. I've got all the pearls I need. I'm just going to speed this bit up because I'm just waiting for obsidian. Also, if you want to watch a full unedited run, that will be linked in the description from my clips channel. So, just waiting for more trades here. I get the 10 obby, and usually you want to force 20 obby on these because that's just like, world record's so tight that, I mean, obviously you can have good blinds, but like, a calculated travel that's like 700 blocks is like a really quick first portal to end split. I had like the other day, like basically like I think it was like a 4-minute first portal with like 1 or 2 rods or something, which was certainly well record pace, but unfortunately I had to dig through it for ages through basalt. And I still hit the blind as well, but that was a bit sad. It wasn't even sub 10. But I was going for sub 10. I feel like now I've got sub 10, I can fully go for world record. I'm also getting a new PC, which in like just under a week, which will allow me to multi-instance. So I feel like I want to like play Pogloot and as well as do some other stuff for videos now, and then I can start getting like a really good sub 15, sub 13 RSG time. Because multi-instance is really powerful. You see, thanks to those 3 strays, I got all my blaze rods from 1 spawn, which is crazy because like this, with this mod, is so often, even though you only need like 4 rods, 5 rods, I usually go for 5, although if I'm on bad pace, I'll probably like force 4. Or if I'm just being like trolled by blaze rates. But for world record, I mean, it's probably worth leaving on 4 because the eyes are just that much increased. I actually got really lucky here because the portal room was a 2-eye, which is surprisingly bad luck as I think the highest amount was 4 eyes. Like the highest, like the most average, which is like crazy because in like real RSG that's like a 2% chance, so it's pretty cool. Nobody's found a 5-eye yet, which is pretty funny. I'll link Pogworld in the description because it's a really cool mod, and it's certainly like, in my opinion, right now it's the best tool out there if you want to practice RSG. I think I might have to pole hang there so I didn't die. I don't know. Because, like, obviously FSG exists, I'm just confirming the chunk. I decided to hunger reset here. The strong was really low here. Obviously, like, FSG exists, but this gives you, it's basically just permanent practice season. It's a lot more like a real run than FSG, so it's really cool. And the fact I'm playing 5 minutes here, which is not even much, like, that's pretty good. Like, that's only like a minute slower than, like, an FSG blind for, like, sub 6 round. Like, Feinberg's 542 are record blind, like, 4 minutes. You see, I entered the end here at like 8 minutes, so I just hope I get a good perch. I did like half an hour after this, enter the end at 8 minutes again, but I didn't get the perch, a bit sad. I've got more than enough beds, 5 beds, so I'm like, okay, cool, perhaps a lot of 1 cycling. I can pretty consistently 4 bed, I do kind of choke it here. I'm actually running, I'm quite worried, because I see it's going back there, so I know it's about to perch. And I'm like, okay, is it actually, and I work out, yeah, it's actually, it goes to perch. And I somehow don't 4 bed here, because you'll see the first bed's like, pretty good. Second bed's fine, and I'm like, okay, this is an easy 4 bed. I don't know what I did with the last bed. I think I did it early, but that's it. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Join my Discord. I've got a lot better videos recently. Sorry if I've not been posting much. I've been busy because I've got exams at school at the moment. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you there. So yeah.